पॉलिसी बाजार पर 1 करोड़ रुपए का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस केवल 450 रुपए महीने से शुरू। वाव!
Good evening and welcome. You're watching Newsbreak right here on NDT. Now, 2 days and 2 senior leaders of the Congress party have alerted the Congress at a time when the party is in this euphoria called the Bharat Jodo Yatra. It is gaining a lot of traction, no doubt about that fact. It has taken a short break, will resume very soon from Uttar Pradesh, where the Congress is facing a different type of challenge. For instance, none of the alliance partners are willing to march along with Rahul Gandhi. Be that as it may, yesterday, P. Chidambaram in an interview right here on this show said, and we'll play out that statement in just a short moment, where he said that the preparation of the Congress is not up to mark, certainly not to match the BJP. And today, A.K. Antony, another senior leader of the BJP, a day later of the Congress, beg your pardon, has raised a 2024 alert where he says support of Muslims is not enough, or support of the minorities is not enough. We need to woo Hindus as well. Now let's quickly listen in to what Mr. A.K. Antony said and then a response from the BJP.
ന്യൂനപക്ഷം മാത്രം പോരാ, ഇന്ത്യ ജനങ്ങളിൽ ഭൂരിപക്ഷം സമുദായം ഹിന്ദുക്കളാണ്. ഇവിടെ മുസ്ലിമിന് പള്ളിയിൽ പോകാം, ക്രിസ്ത്യാനിക്ക് പള്ളിയിൽ പോകാം. ഹൈന്ദവ സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ ആരെങ്കിലും അമ്പലത്തിൽ പോയാൽ, നെറ്റിയിൽ തിലകം ചാർത്തിയാൽ, ചന്ദനക്കുളിയിട്ടാൽ ഓണം തന്നെ അവർ മുതു ഹിന്ദുത്വ സ്വീകരിക്കുന്ന സമീപനം, ആ സമീപനം മോഡിയുടെ ഭരണം വീണ്ടും വരാൻ മാത്രമേ സഹായിക്കുകയുള്ളൂ.
टोनी साहब के आज के बयान और कांग्रेस के तमाम वरिष्ठ नेताओं, मणिशंकर अय्यर, शशि थरूर, सलमान खुर्शीद साहब के पिछले बयानों को जोड़कर देखें तो सत्ता में आने के बाद कभी हिंदू तालिबान है, हिंदू पाकिस्तान है, हिंदू बोको हराम है, और सत्ता में आने के लिए राहुल राम है। इससे बहुत साफ है। मैं फिर कहना चाहूंगा कि कांग्रेस सत्ता में आने के लिए हिंदू होने का स्वांग रचती है, सत्ता में आने के बाद हिंदुओं को आतंकवादी साबित करने का षड्यंत्र।
So as you have seen, A.K. Antony, the tall leader of the Congress party, is kind of alerting the Congress leadership that fine, you've embarked on this yatra called Bharat Jodo. But do remember, the key to power is not just to be seen with the minorities. Do that. But at the same time, you need to be seen to be with the Hindu community as well. And given these dynamics, will the Congress be poll prepared when you talk about Hindus and Muslims, especially with an opponent like the BJP? You see what the BJP did. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the Bharatiya Janata Party very clearly mentioned this. He said that when you are in power, you see all the problems with Hindus, and when you are out of power, you talk about Hindu appeasement, or you try to woo the Hindus. This should be a clear message to the Hindu community that for the Congress, Hindus are only and only an election-winning plank. The point is, the moment the discourse goes along these lines, who does it benefit? Is the 2024 foundation stone being set on the Hindu-Muslim plank all over again? That's the key question. Now, only yesterday on the show, as we told you, P. Chidambaram also alerted the Congress party. What did he say? Let's play that.
The Congress's poll preparedness is certainly not up to the mark, and certainly not up to the speed of the BJP, except in a few states. And the word except is important. I think our poll preparedness is extremely good in Kerala, now in Karnataka. It was in Himachal Pradesh. I think it's good in Rajasthan. And I think Madhya Pradesh is coming up to speed. Chhattisgarh is also very good. In other states, I concede that the poll preparedness is not up to mark.
And you know, if you look at Mr. A.K. Antony's comment, this is in league and in line with the recommendations by the Antony, the very famous Antony committee, which looked into the reasons why the Congress lost the 2014 polls. I mean, they didn't lose, they lost badly. So the A.K. Antony headed Congress report had certain findings. It says, and it said, beg your pardon, Congress's pro-minority stance hurt the majority vote bank. Pitching polls as battle between secularism and communalism hurt the Congress. Strong anti-incumbency in many states, lack of coordination between central and state leadership, minority community doubted the Congress's intentions, huge gap between UPA programs and delivery on the ground, and failure to counter the BJP's aggressive campaign. These were the findings of the committee which was looking into the reasons for the debacle and the failure in 2014. How much has the Congress learnt from these findings is a whole new debate. Let's quickly put this to a discussion. Are these warnings or warning signs by the senior leadership really something which the Congress should look into? Or is this a classic debate that often many people in the Congress party engage, where they say that, you know, the old guard is not being able to accept a change within the Congress party? Tehseen Poonawalla is a political analyst, supports the Congress. PKD Nambiar, a political analyst, supports the BJP. Sanjay Kumar, cephalogist and professor at the CSDS. And Sanjay Jha is also a political analyst, former member of the Congress party. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Mr. Sanjay Kumar, I want to begin with you first. What is your assessment when Mr. A.K. Antony, I would say, has reiterated that you need to reach out to the Hindus? And this is his message for the Congress party.
I think factually, if I say it is incorrect, if Congress is reaching out to the Adivasis, if Congress is trying to reach out to the Dalits and other sections of society, this is a clear indication that Congress is trying to reach out to the Hindus. It's not that Congress is not reaching out to the Hindus, but I think the message what is to be conveyed is that Congress has to build an image. It's all about perception. The perception is that this is a party which tries to appease the minorities even at the cost of Hindus. So this perception needs to be changed. Not that you have to reach out to the Hindus. Reaching out is already there when you're reaching out. This is what I mentioned. So I think the perception needs to be changed. And if you need to change the perception, it won't merely do by reaching out to the Hindus. You have to do something else. What is that something else? It's very tricky. This is what Congress has been struggling for the last couple of years. Sometimes leaders visiting the temple, sometimes trying to keep away from that. So they are in a confusion. What to do? How to send out a message that this is a party which also cares for the Hindus at large.
Okay, Mr. PKD Nambiar and Tehseen Poonawalla, one by one, please. Mr. Nambiar, to you first. The BJP the BJP smelt a perfect opportunity in here. I mean, you look at the statement from the BJP, this is familiar territory, Hindu-Muslim. The party gets to position itself as the real deal in this brand of politics, or the champion of the Hindus. Do you feel that what the Congress party was trying to avoid, they cannot, given these circumstances?
Well, that is not true, actually, Sanketji. I'll tell you the reason. If you really look at it, A.K. Antony's statements, not only this one. In 2014, he came up with a statement. Even before that, when he was the Chief Minister of Kerala, you remember that his famous statement then, which actually costed him the seat of Chief Minister. He said then that the minorities are becoming more and more stronger at the cost of the majority population of this country. And that is the reason, because the minorities in these countries are very uniformed and that unified, and they are together and they have the power to bargain what they wanted. He was talking that in the context of Kerala, and which is really true. And even today when he was talking that, yesterday when he was giving the statement, he was talking from Kerala. The idea is that the Muslim League and the population of the kind of way they have been able to grab the power. The Muslim League in Kerala is a testimony for the national nationally for the Congress to learn. So now coming to the second part of it, there are two ways to look at this, Sanketji. One is that internally there has been confusion in Congress that how can they go and appease the majority community. So far they were believing that the majority don't understand the vote bank politics, so they will be able to use them, and there is a section of vote in Hindu vote will come to Congress, and then they will appease the minorities and plus this scheduled caste, scheduled tribe or Adivasis and tribals. But we are living in 2022. The average voter of this country do understand what is appeasement, irrespective of the religion. They would vote today more than the religion. I am not saying throughout, but more than the religion, they would wanted to have a government which will be working for the development of the country. Whatever Mr. A.K. Antony is one of the most wisest political leader of today, irrespective of a political party. When he says something, that means a lot. This exposes.
Were you calling him wise because?
Absolutely.
You're calling him wise because he's thrown the ball into the territory that you like, you know.
Sanket, I'll tell you, there is no political leader in this country who has always enjoyed the power other than A.K. Antony. Then if I say that if he is wise, then I think that's absolutely true. And Sanjay ji will agree with me. There is no political leader in the country he is always in power, either as a PCC president or a chief minister or a central minister or some or the other way. So he's definitely a wise person. He knows how politics has been. But this exposes the Congress, how Congress has been doing the minority appeasement vote bank politics.
No, that's what I wanted to ask you. See, this is such familiar territory for you that immediately you had a statement from the BJP saying that, hey, pick the real deal. Look at them. They're only appeasing the Hindus for elections. After elections, they will call you all sorts of names. Tehseen Poonawalla, I want to come to you now. You feel that this is a real challenge for the Congress party while you are engaging on you've embarked on this mission called the Bharat Jodo Yatra. You look at the performance of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, its political performance will be judged in the upcoming elections. But the point is, have you been able to Jodo alliance partners? The truth in Uttar Pradesh is none of these parties want to be a part of this yatra. Two of your senior leaders have warned you. One is Mr. A.K. Antony's comment today, and yesterday in an interview to NDTV, Mr. P. Chidambaram said the Congress is not up to the mark. So you may mount a nice political campaign in the form of Bharat Jodo. But what will it actually end up delivering, Tehseen?
So Sanket, to that extent, I agree with you. History is always written by the winner. The hunter will always be glorified until the lion can write his own story. So yes, whoever wins will write. So if the Congress loses, the BJP will be glorified. To that extent, I agree. Now I want you and your viewers to imagine an Australian Perth cricket pitch. Bouncy pitch, overcast conditions, and a batsman out of form, the Congress. And the Australians have 6 slip fielders, and they're bowling outside the off stump. Outside the off stump is Hindu-Muslim. Don't play at it. You may cover drive it. It may go for a boundary, but chances are you'll get caught up at slip. So leave those deliveries outside the off stump. Play on your strong point. When they pitch on the leg, hit it for a boundary on the leg side. Economy, etc. So the Congress must focus on that. Now, let me give you a precise example. Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat, 2 elections that took place back to back. In Gujarat, and this is criticism of the Congress, because very rarely seldom do I criticize the Congress, and there's also praise for the Congress. In Gujarat, जिन लोगों ने अपनी दुकानें चलाई थी 2002 पर, all of those, could they help you win Gujarat? No. Because you didn't have an agenda. In Himachal, now you can agree or disagree with the Congress's agenda in Himachal. You didn't have these NGO type left loonies. You had an agenda which was on national security, Agniveer, which was an agenda for development of Himachal, the old pension scheme. You can agree, disagree with it. You had the apple farmers agenda. And in a state like Himachal, which is 95% Hindu population, 65% upper caste population, Srimati Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Sachin Pilot and Bhupesh Baghel defeated the most honorable Prime Minister, who in Himachal said, this is my second home, don't look at the candidate, vote directly for the BJP or voting for me. And you defeated the BJP in Himachal. That shows you must have an agenda and people will vote for you. So if you have an agenda to give in people and not get distracted on Hindu-Muslim like you got in Gujarat, you will win elections, you can defeat BJP. It's a
then how do you respond to what? How do you respond to the advice or the warning or the alarm or whatever you may want to call it of Mr. A.K. Antony? How would
think
you
to
respond?
that extent, limited extent, Mr. Anthony and Mr. Chidambaram are right. Look, I'll tell you what the problem for the Congress is. The minorities do not vote for the Congress where they have another alternative. The Congress's problem is not really the BJP, it's the other third front parties that are finishing up the Congress. For example, the SP in Uttar Pradesh, or the BSP in Uttar Pradesh, or the BRS in Telangana, or Jagan's party, etc. They are the ones who are finishing up the Congress. So the Congress can fight with the BJP, but to that extent, the third front parties are the problem. And the minorities are not coming with the Congress where there is an alternative. Now, the enemies of the minorities of India and the Hindus of India is the same. Unemployment, lack of education, lack of opportunities. If the Congress can focus on that without falling into this Hindu-Muslim trap, get young leaders out like Sachin Pilot, etc., who can perform. I'm giving you many examples. Bhupesh Baghel is a performing chief minister. You have a chance to deliver in 2024. So 2023, you have Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and then you enter into 2024. You, of course, have the other state elections.
Okay.
You can deliver there, but don't fall into the
One moment. Sanjay Jha has not spoken. Mr. Jha, lot of cricket analogy there by Tehseen Poonawalla.
You know, Sanjay ran a cricket website.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he'll understand
Which is why I am drawing that link, Tehseen. Sanjay Jha, the point is, now when you're in the game and when there is this odd delivery, you will have to play it. You can't say well left for everything. It will not work. You won't win the match.
Absolutely. And, Tehseen is a very dear friend of mine, but let me use the same allegory that he mentioned. If you're playing a limited overs match and the bowler is going to bowl on your offside, which apparently is your weakness, you still got to make, if you get a lemon, make a lemonade. And I will tell you what I mean by that. Quite simply, the issue for the Congress is very straightforward and uncomplicated. You can't have won 10 of the 17 general elections in India merely because you got 14% of the minority vote. So the Congress needs to understand that it has the backing and the support of the entire country. It's not easy to be a centrist party when you got a party in power in Mr. Narendra Modi's government, which is playing brazen communal politics. Now, if you want to handle that, then you got to proudly, I would say with almost, cool aplomb, wear the secular badge on your shoulder. You can't afford to be playing soft Hindutva. You can't afford to be playing Hindutva light. That is the BJP's turf. Either you change the rules of the game or you create your own story. Now, quite simply, if the Congress party were to try and, say, now let me catch up with the BJP and the Hindutva vote, it is a terribly meek surrender. Because as Sanjay rightly mentioned, the Congress still gets votes from across various sections of India, religious or caste, whatever you call it. It may have diminished, but the Congress remains a pan-India party where a very horizontal and a vertical, shall we say, depth. So the fundamental issue for the Congress is that you be a proud secular party. Change the narrative. You can't be like your principal opposition. In fact, you got to be the complete contrast. The BJP and the Congress are ideologically incompatible. So how can the Congress try and pretend that, I need to now get back the Hindu vote because I think you never lost it. I think the problem with the Congress is the way you handle the vicious, very malignant and malicious propaganda of the BJP that says there has been minority appeasement. Have you heard Rahul Gandhi or any Congress leader actually say what is on record? Mr. Qureshi has written a book on it. That minority appeasement is nothing but a BJP, what I call as a PR stunt. If there was minority appeasement,
no, I'll tell you what Mr. Trivedi of the BJP. I'll tell you what Mr. Trivedi of the BJP said in his statement. He said that the moment the Congress comes to power, then you start accusing the Hindus. You call them terrorists. You equate this with Boko Haram. These are the comments that were made. He was attributing these comments to many of the senior Congress leaders.
Well, Sanket, let me answer that.
I have a larger point here. The moment you talk Hindu-Muslim or that, you have to woo the Hindus, do you think that the Congress is walking into the BJP's comfort zone? That's exactly what they want.
Well, let me answer you in a very succinct fashion. The Congress will have to bite the bullet on this conversation. think about it, and let me tell this to Tehseen as well. You can keep talking price rise, unemployment, inflation, corruption, decimation of institutions, threat to democracy, independence of media. People don't understand that. You see, at the end of the day, the BJP has controlled the political narrative thanks to mainstream media, NDTV being a rare exception. I hope for a longer time to come. The larger point is that the Congress needs to tell the people of India that the BJP is actually playing majority appeasement politics. Sanket, look at the maths of this entire ridiculous conversation. I think it's so preposterous. Can't the Congress party go and tell the people, if I want to win an election, should I be chasing or rather trying to only woo 14% of the minority vote? It's the BJP that is playing the smarter game. 80% of the votes, even if they influence 30% of it, they're guaranteed to win. So I think the Congress needs to go out there and actually address the problem.
Smarter messaging.
Because let me tell you, when you touch identity politics, it overrides economic and social issues. Until the Congress party realizes that you're not going to be able to beat the BJP. And therefore, the BJP has a very straightforward formula for winning elections. Keep talking Hindutva.
Okay, just a quick
and damn the
Okay,
economy, damn the institutions,
Sanjay Kumar ji, last comment please. Mr. Sanjay Kumar, you see the impact of the Jodo Yatra, Bharat Jodo Yatra will be how politically efficient it is in terms of winning elections. That's the only marker in Indian politics. As simple as that. I mean, you see, these are political parties, not NGOs, not think tanks, right? But if you look at the alliance, as of this moment, I don't think the UP story is a very good story for the Congress party. None of the opposition players want to be a part of this yatra.
No, certainly UP story is not a good story. And Sanket, if the leader of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the person who is leading the Bharat Jodo Yatra, if he himself keeps saying, and senior leaders of the party say, this is not a political yatra, this is not meant for election, I know they get a sense that this yatra may not deliver party electoral dividends. And that is my sense also, my reading of the yatra. Yes, yatra has made some image changeover of Rahul Gandhi, but I'm not very enthusiastic about the crowd, large crowd which is following Rahul Gandhi, because I imagine that most of these are political workers of Congress party. I don't see that spontaneity, that if Rahul Gandhi is passing through a city or a town, then spontaneously a huge crowd comes to cheer him up or see him. Nothing of that kind is happening. So I don't get any sense that Congress will be able to reap the political gains from this yatra.
Okay. Okay, I've completely run out of time, but thank you very much. Yes, Tehseen, very quickly.
No, I actually agree with what Sanjay Kumar ji said to an extent, that unless you don't start winning elections, ultimately the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So no matter what it is, you have to win an election. Everything else is secondary. For whatever changes you want to make in the country, you have to be in government. Without being in government, you cannot make any changes.
Cannot exact any change. Right. Thank you very much, Tehseen, PKD Nambiar, Sanjay Kumar, as well as Sanjay Jha for joining us on this discussion. Two senior leaders, two pieces of advice or warning or whatever you may want to call it. What exactly is the plan as one more year has gone and I think 10 or 15 months are left for the big contest in 2024. We'll keep debating this in the future as well. Good night and good luck.